Welcome to The Explainer. I'm so thrilled you're here today because, honestly, we are looking at a monumental shift happening right now in the global tech landscape. We're going to unpack the India AI Impact Summit 2026 and the absolutely massive, record-breaking union budget allocations that came right after it. If you've been wondering how the map of the global tech economy is literally being redrawn as we speak, well, you're in exactly the right place.
Okay, let's just dive right in. 600,000. That is the staggering number of in-person attendees who just flooded the Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi for the summit. And keep in mind, this is the exact same venue that hosted the G20. Add in nearly 1 million virtual viewers, plus delegates from over 100 countries, including 22 heads of state, and, well, it becomes pretty clear this wasn't just your standard tech conference. This was a massive geopolitical milestone that formally put India right at the center of the Global South's artificial intelligence race.
So to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of all this, we're going to break this explainer down into 5 clear parts: the summit itself, the trillion-rupee war chest, sovereign AI infrastructure, billions in private pledges, and finally, real-world AI deployment.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the India AI Impact Summit and how it's shifting the global conversation.
You know, the summit's main goal was beautifully summed up in a single phrase: welfare and happiness for all. It was specifically designed to totally flip the international script on what AI should actually be used for. It's a really stark contrast, actually. On one side, you've got the Western narrative. Think of the Bletchley Park summits, which leans heavily into AI doomsday scenarios, risk, and strict regulation. But on the flip side, you have the Indian narrative, which is fiercely optimistic. They view AI as a very real, tangible tool for social impact, things like solving poverty and improving healthcare. And this wasn't just some abstract philosophical debate either. It resulted in the New Delhi Declaration, which was officially adopted by 91 countries who all wanted this solutions-driven approach.
That optimistic vision is anchored in what New Delhi calls the Three Sutras. First up is people, meaning AI has to drive inclusive human development. Second is planet, focusing on using AI for crucial sustainability and climate modeling. And third is progress, basically utilizing AI for a total transformation of the economy and governance. And let's be real, these aren't just flashy buzzwords. They represent serious diplomatic weight and form the philosophical anchor of India's entire strategy from here on out. Moving right along to Section 2, a trillion-rupee war chest from the Union Budget 2026. Having a great philosophy is wonderful, but New Delhi knows you actually need the capital to back it up. This budget treats artificial intelligence not just as some niche IT interest, but as absolutely critical, strategic national infrastructure. Because if you want to fuel a $7 trillion economy by 2030, you need serious financial firepower. The standout here is the massive 1 lakh crore rupee research, development, and innovation fund rolling out over the next 6 years. Out of that, 20,000 crore has already been deployed for deep tech and AI in agriculture and health. Plus, you see a massive 1,000 crore rupee allocation specifically for the India AI mission just for this fiscal year, alongside millions more for centers of excellence and quantum capabilities. But, as the experts rightly pointed out, all the money in the world isn't enough if you don't actually have the ecosystem to support it. The budget reflects a really broad grassroots push. We're talking about rolling out 5 national skilling centers, 80 India AI labs, 20 AI curation units, and a dedicated deep tech fund of funds. It's a structural pivot explicitly designed to create formal jobs, drive higher productivity, and boost intellectual property exports, all, remarkably, without raising tax rates. Which brings us to Section 3, Sovereign AI Infrastructure. Now, this is where the strategy gets incredibly physical. You can have all the labs and budgets imaginable, but if you don't control the underlying hardware, you are entirely at the mercy of global supply chain monopolies. To train AI, you need immense computing power, specifically GPUs. And the government is not playing around here. They've already provisioned 38,000 sovereign compute GPUs, and they are planning to add another 20,000. That gives us a massive target of over 58,000 GPUs dedicated entirely to providing low-cost compute directly to Indian researchers and startups. It basically ensures they aren't going to get priced out of the global market. To secure all this hardware, the summit introduced this somewhat dense but absolutely vital diplomatic concept called Pax Silica. Essentially, it's a strategic diplomatic deal aggressively embedding India into the physical global AI supply chain. It's all about locking down a permanent, secure spot in the hardware and semiconductor race, making sure India's digital future doesn't suddenly get derailed by overseas chip shortages. And hey, alongside the hardware, there's the data. The Trusted AI Commons was announced to democratize AI data across the global south. By creating a collaborative platform to share datasets and models among partner countries, India is actively fighting back against the idea of just a handful of massive global tech companies monopolizing all the world's AI intelligence.
Let's jump into Section 4, billions in private pledges.
When a government moves this aggressively and throws a trillion rupees on the table, you'd better believe private money is going to follow that momentum. Just take a second to process this number. $250 billion. That's the total amount of private sector investment pledges triggered directly by this summit across the entire AI value chain. I mean, it is an absolute tidal wave of capital rushing into the Indian market. If we break down exactly where those billions are coming from, you see the absolute titans of tech and venture capital stepping up to the plate. Google announced a massive $15 billion pledge, which includes a brand new AI hub in Visakhapatnam and a new India-US subsea cable. The venture capital commitments are just as staggering. We're seeing Lightspeed pledging $10 billion and General Catalyst pledging $5 billion, specifically aimed at fueling Indian AI startups. Finally, Section 5, Real-World AI Deployments. Okay, so macroeconomic policies and billion-dollar pledges are fascinating, for sure. But what you really need to know is how this AI gold rush is actually going to impact daily life, education, and your own career moving forward. Walking through this timeline, it proves the pure research phase is officially over and the massive deployment phase has well and truly begun. Starting right now in 2026, AI education is mandatory in schools, with over 10,000 AI tinkering labs being upgraded with generative AI tools to reach 11 million students. Looking at the midterm, they're launching a program to train 20 million government public servants in AI, and long-term, they're scaling the Bashini platform to provide real-time translation across all 22 official Indian languages, ensuring total digital inclusion. This whole deployment strategy is about solving real, on-the-ground problems. Like, for example, moving away from just generic weather forecasts to hyperlocal agricultural AI that actually helps farmers mitigate climate risks. And to power the whole shebang, the government announced a massive data center tax holiday, running all the way until 2047. The explicit goal there is to make India the undisputed data capital of the global south.
To really sum up New Delhi's strategy, I just love this quote derived from the officials. It says, the goal isn't just apps, models, or hype. It's a structural pivot, higher productivity, faster infrastructure execution, more formal jobs. They're looking at artificial intelligence as the ultimate engine for massive, tangible socioeconomic transformation.
And that brings us to the most important takeaway for you. The physical infrastructure is being built. The private capital is already here. The deployment phase is officially rolling out across schools, farms, and government offices as we speak. So the only real question left is, are you ready? It's time to consider your own skills and figure out exactly how you're going to adapt to this exploding new AI-first economy. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack all of this, and I'll see you again tomorrow.